Let me hold on. Make sure my volume, my notifications don't mess anything up. Damn. And this little stand kind of, it will not stay up. Let me see how low it go. Okay, do it gotta go hecka low? Can it at least stay like damn? But this, but I'm never buying one of these again, bruh. Hold on. Come on. Why the heck don't it stay, bruh? Hold on. But this is some bullshit. I got it tightened, so I don't understand why this thing even moving. All right, don't even. I'm not even gonna. All right, there we go. All right, we live. Peace and love, everybody. Welcome to Halo Study Hall. My bad. I had some technical difficulties with my phone stand, but we live. Welcome to Halo Study Hall. Today we're gonna be dealing with trauma in the nervous system. We're gonna be dealing with trauma in the nervous system. We're gonna be dealing with some powerful information because this particular topic, many people tend to look at it as a joke. People like to clown people's trauma. I've had people joke towards me and say, hey, you need some therapy, and like make a joke about it. And it's like, it just shows how, I ain't even gonna say primitive. It just shows how this world is, let me correct myself because I'm not gonna generalize nothing. But it shows how some people in this world are, in the infancy stage of consciousness, despite whatever age or, profession, how much money they got, what I'm saying? Like, that really matter anyway. But let's keep it pushing. We finna get straight to the slideshow. So, boom. The nervous system is the bridge between our inner world and outer reality. Healing begins when safety is restored in the body. Okay? Key word, safety. Okay? Key word, right? Now, trauma by definition is what? A deeply distressing or disturbing experience. So here's my question. Why do people look at trauma as if it's a joke? Like, why do people be making fun of people that may have experienced traumatic events and joke about it, or be like, you need some therapy, and just make a joke about that? Like, why do people do that? No one's asking no one to feel sorry for nobody, but why? Anybody can answer it in the comments or the chat. Why do people joke about other people's trauma? And I always say this: it's funny how another's pain is a joke to you, but then you want folks to feel what you going through. Like, you feel me? Like that's diabolical. You know what I mean? So I'm keeping it moving, right? And then number 2 is physical injury. Physical injury. You know what I'm saying? So it's different types of trauma. There's levels to this. Now, here's some more. Trauma is a deeply distressing or shocking experience, physical or emotional, that overwhelms a person's ability to cope, causing significant, lasting negative effects on their mental, emotional, and even physical functioning, often changing their sense of safety in the world. Keyword, safety. Okay? It can stem from single intense events like accidents, abuse, or prolonged exposure like domestic violence and war, leading to symptoms like anxiety, flashbacks, fear, and changes in behavior long after the event. So here are some of the key aspects of trauma. Okay. Origin, right? A reaction to an event perceived as life-threatening or severely harmful, shattering a person's view of the world as safe. Impact can cause lasting emotional shock, mental distress, physical symptoms, and difficulties with emotions, memory, and relationships. Types include acute, which is single event, chronic, which is repeated events like abuse, and complex, which is multiple traumatic experiences. So now, here's some examples. War, right? Natural disasters. You got some people that done lived through floods, tornadoes, tsunamis, earthquakes, wildfires, all kind of stuff. I remember there was a point in time where the sky was red. You feel me? Like when the fires was in Cali. Sexual assault, severe accidents, abuse, loss of a loved one, or ongoing neglect. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Cause let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna read not universal. So it says not everyone reacts the same way, right? Some develop conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder, while others experience trauma symptoms without meeting full PTSD criteria. So in essence, trauma is more than just a bad event. It's the profound, lasting wound to the mind, okay, body, and spirit that results from an overwhelming experience impacting how you see yourself in the world. Okay. So again, based off all I just read, I still have the question to all the people out there that think it's a joke or think it's okay to make fun of people that may exhibit certain types of behavior due to trauma. And when they express, hey, this is why I am the way that I am, people want to make a joke about it or they want to try to clown you. Like, why do people do that? That don't make no sense. Like, to me, that's some narcissistic jive turkey rhetoric. You feel me? But moving forward though, you know what I'm saying? And I hope y'all can hear me with this microphone. Y'all can pull up on my Twitch, HeyRoo456. You want to go to my YouTube, HeyRoo Study Hall. Let's get it. Nervous system explained in detail, okay? And this is right off Google, okay? The nervous system, right? The nervous system is your body's command center, okay? I'm going to start it over real quick. The nervous system is your body's command center, a complex network of nerves, the brain, and spinal cord that coordinates actions, sensory information, and involuntary functions like breathing and heartbeat by sending electrical signals throughout the body, allowing you to think, feel, move, and react to your environment. It's divided into the central nervous system, which consists of the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, which deals with nerves extending to the body. Okay. We're going to get into both of them in a minute. So, boom, dealing with the nervous system, right? You know, the key components is the brain, you know, which is the main control center, processing thoughts, commands. The spinal cord is the major pathway carrying signals between the brain and the rest of the body. Nerves, which are extensions that branch out from the spinal cord to deliver messages everywhere. Okay? Let me see, what did I put in my notes? Your nervous system is divided into the central nervous and peripheral. Okay, that was just one of my notes. And this is how your nervous system actually looks, if y'all can see it. Hope they don't ban me, but if so, oh well. And welcome everybody that's watching. I see I got 2 viewers. Welcome y'all. Much love. But this is I'm not gonna say this is you because you know, but this is your nervous system. You know what I mean? So let's keep it pushing. So again, dealing with the components, right? You know what I'm saying? I already went through this, right? Now here's the functions, okay? Because we're dealing with trauma in the nervous system. So when it comes to trauma, we got to deal with all of this, right? So sensory input, right? Which gathers information: touch, sight, sound. Touch, you might get hit, punch, jump, kick, stab, shot, burnt. All that play a role with trauma. Sight, you might witness something, you might see something. Somebody may introduce you to some, you know, y'all probably heard of Faces of Death or them crazy old websites where they be showing all that crazy stuff, and you may have seen it, and that's a form of trauma too, whether people believe it or not. And sound, you know, it could be gunshots or hearing somebody scream in agony and pain, or who knows. You feel me? But it's dealing with all that from inside and outside the body. Okay. And integration is basically processes this information in the brain and the spinal cord. Okay. Motor output, which sends signals to muscles and glands to act, to move, speak, sweat, blink, etc. Regulation, which controls vital functions like heart rate, breathing, digestion, and sleep. Okay. This is why it's important to meditate. This is why it's important to breathe in through your nose and out your mouth. You know, a lot of, you know, and it's a book called Breathe. And I forgot his name, but it's a book called Breathe. You know, and I looked into some things, and people were saying that book was pseudo, this, that, and the third. And I haven't got too far into it, but they basically did an experiment where they plugged their nose and basically did nothing, just straight mouth breathing. And I'm still reading it, but that's some brave people to do that, because I'm pretty sure it had an effect on their body. But let's move forward. So the divisions is, of course, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Okay, and I already went through it, but I'm gonna go through it again. The central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system deals with the nerves connecting the central nervous system to limbs and organs. Further split into somatic. Okay, don't forget, we're gonna get into somatic too. Somatic, which is voluntary, okay, and autonomic, which is involuntary, like your breathing, etc., your heartbeat, etc. You know what I mean? Systems. So nervous systems explain. The nervous system is the body's communication network. It sends, receives, and interprets signals that control everything from breathing and movement to thoughts, emotions, and healing. Okay, so you can actually use your nervous system to heal. Okay, you feel me? Well, let's keep it pushing. It has 2 parts. Again, I already went over those 2. the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So the central nervous system, you know what I mean? I hope y'all can see it. Let me make sure. Hold on, let me go back. I hope y'all can see it. But let me see. Hold on. All right, it looked pretty clear. So boom, the central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord, right? Here's the role. The central nervous system is the command center. It processes information, makes decisions, and sends instructions to the body. Here's some key functions, right? Thinking, memory, and learning, emotional regulation, interpreting sensory input, sight, sound, and pain, and then also coordinating movement and responses. Let's keep it pushing. But as y'all can look at this picture real quick, as you can see, the central nervous system. Here's the brain from a side view. Here's the spinal cord. You can see the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and you see the spinal cord. Then you see the spinal cord, you see the cord, you see the nerves right there. The pia mater, if I said it right. The arachnoid mater and the dura mater. Or if I say it right, cool. If not, my apologies. But let's keep it moving. So why it matters? Why does it matter? Why am I doing this? Why does this matter? Okay, trauma, chronic stress, or injury can overwhelm the central nervous system, affecting focus, mood, and emotional balance. Okay, so again, dealing with the nervous system's response to toxic stress, right? You got social engagement. It's levels to stress. Excuse me. It's levels to stress, by the way. You know, social engagement, fight or flight, and some people freeze up. You know what I'm saying? Like social engagement, for example, right? You know, you want to be in the present, you know, compassion, curiosity, you know, stay grounded, feel safe, you know, and connected. You know what I mean? Fight or flight deals with panic, anxiety, fear, worry, concern, irritation, anger, frustration, and rage. You feel me? All this has an effect on your nervous system. Freeze is like the worst. Disassociation, numbness, depression, shame, trapped, helplessness, shut down, loss of energy. You feel me? So let's keep it pushing. So peripheral nervous system, right? It includes all nerves outside the brain and the spinal cord, like we mentioned earlier. And the role is the peripheral nervous system acts as the messenger, carrying signals between the body and the central nervous system. And the two main branches are the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. Okay, the somatic nervous system, the role of the somatic nervous system, it controls voluntary movement and conscious sensory input. Okay, and its key functions are moving muscles such as walking, talking, and writing. Okay, so me doing this presentation, I'm using my somatic nervous system. So receiving sensory information. Okay, touch, temperature, and pain. I'm touching this mouse. You see what I'm saying? The mouse on my computer. So dealing with the somatic nervous system. Why it matters. Why it matters. Movement, stretching, and body-based practices help regulate stress and release stored tension. This is why stretching is important. Stretching is important. Moving your body, exercise, etc. I mean, but here's the somatic nervous system right here. As you can see, the neuron. You see the cell body. You see the dendrite right there. See the axon right there. The myelin, or however you say it, right here. You feel me? Then you see over here on the right, you see the brain. You see the spinal cord. You see movement control right there, and you see sensory input. You see the sensory input as the person is holding the ball. And you see the nerve right there, and you see the muscle. Okay, let's keep it moving. The autonomic nervous system. The role of the autonomic nervous system controls automatic, unconscious functions and things that we have to think about. And that's a typo. I need to add some letters, that we have to think about. And here's the key functions, right? Heart rate, digestion, breathing, blood pressure, and hormone release. You feel me? Heart rate. Now think about digestion, right? When you in survival mode, your digestion and all that shut down. When you in survival mode, your breathing is like more so. I believe it's shallow, and you're more so breathing out your mouth and not through the nose and out your mouth. And then your blood pressure go up, and then your body releases what is known as cortisol, stress hormones, and chemicals in your body. You feel me? So here's some subdivisions. Okay, now we're going to get into the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, you feel me? As you can see right over here, parasympathetic deals with rest and digest. Okay, constrict pupils. It slows heartbeat. This is why breathing exercises is important. It constricts airways. It stimulates activity of the stomach. It stimulates the gallbladder. It stimulates activity of the intestines and contract the bladder, right? Now the sympathetic, fight or flight, okay, dilates the pupils, increases the heartbeat, it relaxes airways, it inhibits activity of the stomach, it inhibits the gallbladder, and it inhibits activity of the intestines, and it relaxes the bladder. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let me see. So boom, the sympathetic nervous system, or the fight or flight, okay, prepares the body for action or survival. And this is activated when you sense danger or stress. When you're anxious, angry, or under pressure. Effects, right? Increased heart rate, faster breathing, muscle tension, and your digestion slows. Okay. When you in fight or flight, your digestion. So imagine eating a good big old meal, something happened, and then you go into fight or flight mode. Your whole digestion is thrown off. And that's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's not good at all. You know what I mean? Let's keep it pushing. Where we at? Trauma connection, right? Here's the connection to trauma. Chronic activation can lead to anxiety, burnout, inflammation, and fatigue. Okay. Now here's the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. It brings the body back to calm, balance, and healing. And this is activated when you feel safe, when you breathe deeply or meditate, like I was talking about earlier. And the effects is a slower heart rate, improved look, I put digestion. I meant to put digestion, my bad. Muscle relaxation, cellular repair, and healing. Again, key nerve is the vagus nerve, which is critical for emotional regulation, connection, and resilience. Okay, so I would highly recommend people get into learning more about the nervous system because it's important. You know what I mean? It's important. So boom, trauma in the nervous system, part 1. Let me check something real quick before I continue. All right, I just wanted to check something real quick. All right, let's go. The nervous system plays a crucial role in storing trauma experienced by an individual. It is essential to recognize that our brain is the primary organ through which we perceive the world. All 5 senses are, in reality, interpretations by the brain. What we hear is the brain's interpretation of vibrations. What we feel is the brain's interpretation of electrical signals transmitted through the nervous systems. What we see when we see is the brain's interpretation of light waves entering the brain through the eyes. What we taste is the brain's interpretation of chemicals reacting on the taste buds, and what we smell is the brain's interpretation of odor molecules entering through the nostrils. The brain functions as the central processing unit of our 3-dimensional experience. And just put this out there, I wouldn't recommend getting too stuck, in the third dimensional perspective. You know what I mean? Because we definitely exist in different dimensions, whether people believe it or not. I'm pretty sure people, have experiences when they sleep, and stuff like that. You feel me? So let's move. Let's keep it moving. Or astral projection. You know what I mean? So let's keep it moving, right? Trauma in the nervous system, part 2. Given this understanding, it becomes evident that whatever we experience has a direct impact on the brain. Since the brain is connected to every part of the body through the extensive network of the nervous system, these experiences subsequently affect the entire body. For instance, during traumatic events such as a car crash, the body becomes extremely tense in anticipation of the impact. The nervous system captures this tension and stores the trauma within itself in the brain. Okay? You feel me? Keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a car before that spun out on the freeway. It still affects me to this day. You know what I mean? I didn't experience no physical pain, but mentally and emotionally I did, because I thought we was gonna flip. I thought it was over with. You feel me? I remember seeing the cars coming and we all spinning and stuff. I remember all that. You feel me? So boom, trauma in the brain, part 3. This mechanism explains how the body stores trauma via the nervous system. Every single tension we have experienced throughout our lives is stored somewhere within our nervous system. Over time, this is trauma or tension. If this trauma or tension is not released, it can manifest as physical ailments such as back pain, joint aches, or even diseases in specific areas of the body. This is why practices such as bone cracking can provide a sense of relief as they stretch and release the traumatic energy stored in the bones and the nervous system. You feel me? That's why I was talking about yoga, stretching, stuff like that. You feel me? Let me see. Hold on. Where we at? We got a ways to go, y'all. So let's get it. Trauma in the nervous system, part 4. Yoga, in particular, is highly effective in releasing stored trauma from the body before it develops into more serious conditions. Through various stretching exercises, yoga helps to open up the body's nerves, allowing the release of tension from the tightened nervous system. Okay, this process facilitates the discharge of negative energy stored within the body, promoting overall well-being and preventing the manifestation of physical ailments related to unresolved trauma. Okay, now I'm not really flexible like that, but I'm a beginner when it comes to that yoga. I'm a beginner. You feel me? Let's keep it moving though. Yoga allows the etheric body to circulate energy around the body more efficiently through the body's meridian ley lines. Okay, it is important to remember that the etheric body operates on a higher plane, where everything affecting the etheric body has a direct impact on the physical body, embodying the principles as above, so below. When we encounter issues in the etheric body, such as energy blockages, these can manifest as physical problems like aches, pain, and even diseases. You feel me? Yoga plays a crucial role in this context by helping to open up the chakras of the entire body, allowing energy to flow more freely. This enhanced energy flow enables the body to function more efficiently, as the etheric body that nourishes the physical body is more swiftly and effective. You feel me? I think it might be a typo right there. You feel me? But let's keep it moving. On to the next one. So when engaging in yoga, right? We are not only stretching our physical body, but also addressing the energetic blockages within our etheric body. By doing so, we facilitate the transfer of energy along the meridians, promoting overall health and well-being. Another typo. This holistic approach ensures that both our physical and etheric bodies remain in harmony, preventing the manifestation of physical ailments caused by energetic imbalances. All right. Now, let me see. I think we damn near. Yeah, I'm damn near finished when it comes to the trauma and the nervous system. Yeah, I know I went kind of fast. You know what I mean? It's a lot of wasn't too much information, but I just wanted to get that out, share that with y'all, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. So I'm gonna end this live stream. Hope y'all enjoyed it. It was 22 minutes. I'm trying not to have it too long because all my other videos are like an hour. So much love to everybody. I'm gonna end this live stream on Twitch and YouTube. Man, I hope the rest of y'all night is the best y'all night.